Good morning. Chapter number 2 of class 12th is Early States and Economies, which starts from 6th century BC to 6th century CE. Before discussing this new chapter, we'll have to look at the end of the Harappan culture and the emergence of new culture. The Harappan culture was followed by another great culture, that is Vedic culture, and the founders of the Vedic culture was Aryans. Originally, the Aryans lived probably in Eurasia. From this region, they moved to Asia and Europe. On their way to India, the Aryans first went to Iran, Persia, and little later in 1500 BC in India. This is indicated by the culture shared by Avesta and the Rig Veda. Saptasindhu is the original habitat of the Aryans. According to Dr. A.C. The leading exponent of this theory, felt that the Saptasindhu, which was irrigated by the 7 rivers, such as the Indus, the Jhelum, the Ravi, the Beas, the Satluj, the Chenab, and the Saraswati, was the original habitat of the Aryans. Now, Vedic culture is so called because our knowledge of this civilization is based on the information derived from the study of Vedic literature. The Vedic literature consists of 4 Vedas, such as Rigved, Samved, Yajurved, and Atharvaved. Out of these Vedas, Rigved is the earliest one. So, the culture is described in the Rig Veda is known as early Vedic culture. Rig Veda is the main source of information about this age. The 3 other Vedas are Samveda, Yajurveda, Atharvaveda, and other literature like Brahmanas, Aranyak, Samhitas, and Upanishads was created during 1000 to 600 BCE. The culture described in this literature is called as later Vedic culture. Thus, at the beginning of the 6th century BC, there was no paramount power in North India. That time North India was divided into a large number of independent states. An important feature of political life was the emergence of several territorial states in different parts of the country. According to the traditional literature, 16 large states means Mahajanapadas, each comprising several agricultural settlements means Janapadas, existed in North India in the 6th century BC. Mahajanapadas represent the state system that emerged in 6th century BC. The processes of emergence of Mahajanapadas were initiated by certain important economic changes and the consequent socio-political developments witnessed during that period. Mahajanapada symbolize amalgamation of large number of rural and urban settlements. They are Kasi, Kosala, Anga, Magadha, Chedi, Vatsa, Kuru, Panchala, Matsya, Surusina, Avanti, Gandhara, Kamboja, Vaji, Mala, and Asaka. So, have a look at the map and you will come to know the existence of 16 Mahajanapadas in northern part of India. These Mahajanapadas were either monarchical or republican in character. The monarchies were generally concentrated in the Gangetic Plains, and the republics were ranged round the northern periphery of these kingdoms, that is, in the foothills of the Himalayas or to the south of these in the northwestern India in modern-day Punjab. Out of these 16 Mahajanapadas, the Vajis, Malas, Asaka were republics, whereas the others were monarchies. All the 16 Mahajanapadas did not play the same role in contemporary politics. Kashi, which was the most important at first, lost its position to Kosala and Magadha. These two kingdoms fought with each other for control of the Ganga basin, which, owing to the riverine commercial traffic, had certain clear strategic and economic advantages. In the 6th century BC, only four states, Kashi, Kosala, Magadha, and the Vajian Confederacy, remained important. These fought for political hegemony for nearly about 100 years, and eventually Magadha emerged victorious and became the center of political activity in North India. The kingdom of Magadha was the first to make a successful bid for supremacy and establish its suzerainty with its capital at Rajgir or Rajagaha. The kingdom was situated in Patna and Gaya districts of Bihar. Its political power and prosperity reached its top in the reign of Bimbisara and Ajatashatru, who one by one conquered all the neighboring states and extended their empire towards all directions. Magadhan kingdom was ruled by three dynasties. The first one was Haryanka, the second one is Shushunaga, and the third one is Nanda dynasty. The first important ruler of Magadha was Bimbisara, who ascended the throne in the second half of 6th century BC. He is described as Sinia, with an army, being perhaps the first king to have a regular standing army. He attacked Anga and enlarged his kingdom by conquering and annexing this powerful and prosperous kingdom. His diplomatic relations and matrimonial relations must have helped him considerably in aggressive policy initiated by him. According to Buddhist tradition, Bimbisara lost his life at the hands of his son, Ajatashatru. Ajatashatru defeated the kings of Kosala and Lichavis in a prolonged battle which continued for more than 16 years. The war ended in a complete victory of Ajatashatru and destroyed the freedom of the city-states of Vaishali. It was Ajatashatru who continued the policy of expansion through military conquests and fortified Rajgir, and he also conquered Kosala and Vaji confederacy. Haryanka dynasty was replaced by Shushunaga dynasty. Actually, Shushunaga was a person in the Haryanka dynasty. He deposed the lost king of Haryanka dynasty and became the king himself in 413 BC. Then later on, Shushunaga dynasty was replaced by the Nanda dynasty in 326 BC, often described as the first empire builder of India. Its greatest king was Mahapadmananda, who claimed to be Ikarat. It means the sole sovereign. Nandas were the first non-Kshatriya ruling dynasties. The first imperial and centralized structure was established by the Nandas. So, Magadha became the first state to use elephants on large scale in wars. The last ruler of the Nanda dynasty was Dhananda, who was dethroned by Chandragupta Maurya.